You saw the title. Honestly, I know this might sound a little bit controversial, especially since everyone loves traveling, I myself included. But I've been thinking that maybe traveling might be slightly overrated and maybe even a waste of money. I know it sounds a little bit harsh, but hear me out, right? This is my personal opinion, not financial advice. I just want to share why from my perspective, and I think we should really think twice before spending big on travel. Um, like I always love traveling. I've been so into so many countries, and a lot of the times, a lot of the countries that I traveled back then was me doing part time in a developed country with a respected pay, not pay, but purchasing power back then. And I did most of my travel then. And now that I have started working and in the workforce in Malaysia for 5 years now, I really think that travel isn't something that a typical Malaysian should do that often. You know, so let's start with some kind of like quick math, for example, because this part really kind of changed my mentality, how I see traveling. So let's say you are quite you're doing well in your career and you're earning, let's say, 8,000 ringgit a month, which is a decent income in KL. You're not rich, you're middle class, right? You save roughly 2,000 every month, which is 25% savings rate, which is actually quite solid, you know. It's even better than the usual cookie cutter 50 30 20 budgeting framework, right? So now imagine that you want to take a trip to Japan, and realistically, the trip will cost you at least 8,000 ringgit, right? Flights, hotel, food, train, souvenir, all in, right? So at first, it may think you it's easy to think that okay lah, it's just 1 month of my salary and it's not that bad. I have like 11 months of out of a year to go, right, to save up my money, right? But here's the thing, right? If you're only able to save 2,000 ringgit a month, like consistently, right? Actually that trip represents 4 months of your savings, right? That's like a third of your year's saving gone through a 1 week vacation. So 4 months of working, budgeting, and saving to exchange for a 7 day vacation. So don't get me wrong, right? It's not really about being stingy. It's really just about thinking the trade-off, because those 4 months of savings could actually go into your maybe your emergency fund, your investments, or even helping you to buy your own place, or just that 8,000 ringgit can maybe stretch even further to go 4 times to Bali, and that may bring you 4 times the happiness, right? So when people just say like just save for it, it sounds reasonable, but in reality is that the time to trade for that money actually take longer than it took. So that's what I started to rethink travel. So point number two is that actually in Malaysia, right, as Malaysian we are an exporting country. We don't have a strongest currency. We our currency may be fluctuate and getting stronger in the recent months. Malaysia to US dollar has appreciated roughly 10 to 15% in the recent months. But as compared to developed countries like Singapore, Japan, Europe, our ringgit really doesn't stretch that far. Right, so 1 ringgit is a roughly 30 cents of Singapore dollar, right? So in Japan, maybe a meal, 1,000 yen meal, maybe 35 ringgit. So in nearby Thailand countries, I remember when I was slightly younger, 10 baht was 1 ringgit, 100 baht was 10 ringgit, but then now 100 baht was like 7 ringgit. No, sorry. Uh, yeah, 10 ringgit can only get you 75 baht, something like that. So when we travel, it's not really like it's just everything is just expensive. And Malaysia is not something that it's not a country like Singapore or whatever Scandinavian countries where their purchasing power is strong enough to justify it, right? So for example, maybe a Singaporean can just work 1 month and save like 2k Sing dollar, for example, and they only need to take like $500 to travel to a nearby country, because compared to Malaysian, we need to spend typically in the thousands. So yeah, and there's a part in the point number three is that, you know, I've been traveling to so many countries, more than 20 countries so far. Travel isn't really always restful, you know. There's some, like, travel can be actually really really tiring if you really think about it, right? The long flights, time zone changes, or, you know, rushing from place to place just to update your Instagram stories to kind of like make your money worth, because in the end of the day you must think ringgit doesn't stretch that far, so you need to make your money worth, right? So by the time you come home for your 7 days travel, maybe you are exhausted, right? Most of the time you are exhausted, and you will feel that you need another vacation just to recover from the vacation. So I had that feeling before, like when I travel like to China, or I travel to I don't know, some country further away. Yeah, I really enjoy the travel, like the days when I'm in the country, right? But when I come home, I'm physically drained, I'm mentally foggy, I miss my days there, and my wallet is lighter than ever. Then I will need to like start working harder, or like, you know, find ways to earn money to cover it, right? Yeah, you have nice memories, but you also have like this weird post trip fatigue, right? So am I saying, like, it's a conclusion, right? So am I saying that don't travel at all? I'm not saying that. Like, I think travel is amazing. I learned a lot whenever I go travel, like the culture there, the people there, the weather there, you know, the food there. If you really really genuinely love traveling, then I think by all means go for it, right? Just maybe cut down in any other areas, skip the new car, eat out less, cook more at home, hold off in upgrading your phone and all. But I think in reality of people nowadays, especially young people like me, is that we want everything, right? We want the latest phone, we want the best car that we can afford. We want to travel every single year, 3 times at least. We want every single thing, but yet in reality, we are not actually growing our emergency funds, our investment portfolios. We are not growing our net worth. So yeah, so what I want to try to say is that if travel is really really your passion, treat it as your priority expense, your number one expense, and really cut off every single thing else. But for me, I don't think at this point of my life, travel is something that is number one priority. So now I'm really just focusing on getting my place done up, and really grind and hopefully increase my portfolio by a bit, and hopefully maybe when I'm 30s or early 40s, then I can travel more. But in the meantime, I will still travel maybe once a year to a cheaper place, maybe Bali, maybe Vietnam, that my ringgit can stretch further and have almost a good amount of value out of it, or even staycation. I've been enjoying a lot of staycation lately. Just book a hotel in the middle of KL, or somewhere in other states, or even road trip around the Malaysia Peninsula. That's something that I really wanted to do. So I don't have time for that, but that's something that I really plan to do in the near future. Yeah, so yeah, it's not a rambling video. I hope this doesn't sound like a rambling video, but I'm trying a new format of video where it is not so scripted, it's more real. So yeah, I hope you like this video. See you next time. Thank you.